I loved this quote this morning. Life's work is to wake up, to let things that enter into your life wake you up rather than put you to sleep. The only way to do that is to open, be curious, and develop some sense of sympathy for everything that comes along, to get to know its nature and let it teach you what it will. I think that's really good advice. I'm gonna highlight it here. Hold on. It's hard to do that holding a phone. Huh. This is a ballpoint pen. And it's still smudging. That's weird. Anyways, I love that. I just want to show you this. This is my chair. It was Rick's father's chair. It's a red kind of nalgahide, fake leather chair. And I have made it as cozy as possible. There's a plush blanket underneath. Then there's a heating pad behind that with a pillow for my lower back. I turn the heating pad on when I wake up. Then there's a big cushy blanket that I wrap around myself. And then I have an ottoman with 2 layers of fuzzy blankets on it to be really cushy. Then I have all my current reading books there, and my knitting. And it's just like the most delightful, cozy place. It's not fancy, it's not beautiful, it doesn't even match, but it's heaven. It's heaven. So I just finished this book, Snow and Rose, by Emily Winfield Martin. It was a quick read. I would say it's a middle grade book. Snow and Rose didn't know they were living in a fairy tale. People never do. It was sweet. It was sweet. It was sweet and gentle. Some magical descriptions. Not my favorite that I've ever read. It's obviously a retelling of Snow White and Rose Red. Yeah, it's pretty great. But what I loved the most about it were the illustrations. There are illustrations throughout the book, and Martin, or Winfield, or Martin, Emily Winfield Martin. Sorry, I'm just holding my phone. Her art is really lovely. Pardon my groggy voice, I've been sick. But the illustrations were what I loved the most. I just couldn't wait until the next one, to be honest with you. This was a really fun part, a library of curiosities that the girls found. It was magical. I liked it. It was very sweet. It wasn't, it's a middle grade book. So basically, they are moving with their mother from a house that they grew up in to a little cabin in the woods after their father disappeared. Basically, he left and never came back. And they start to venture out, the 2 girls start to venture out into the forest every day, and they meet all sorts of magical beings and people and creatures, and a young boy, and it's just about their adventures and how it eventually brings them to what they're looking for. So it's really sweet. And the writing is nice. It's not over the top wonderful, but it's good. It's nice and sweet. That's Snow and Rose. If you're someone who likes fairy tales, and you love fairy tales as a child, and you just want something sweet and cozy and magical to read that's like low stakes, you know what I mean? Which is perfect for me sometimes. I highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. So now I'm going to start a book called Spinning Silver by Naomi Novik. This is like a retelling of Rumpelstiltskin. It is a New York Times 100 Notable Books of 2018. Naomi Novik has written many novels that are very much based on folklore and fairy tales, kind of cozy fantasies. This one, let's see, with the Nebula Award-winning Uprooted, Naomi Novik opened a brilliant new chapter in an already acclaimed career, delving into the magic of fairy tales to craft a love story that was both timeless and utterly of the now. Spinning Silver draws readers deeper into this glittering realm of fantasy, where the boundary between wonder and terror is thinner than a breath, and safety can be stolen as quickly as a kiss. So, yeah, it's a retelling of Rumpelstiltskin is what I understand. I don't know because I haven't read it yet. I'm not someone who likes book reviews or book when people haven't read the book and they just talk about the plot from what other people say. So I'm not going to do that. I tucked a bookmark in here. I've got a lot of bookmarks. This is a little watercolor I did. It's fun. I like having bookmarks. But we'll see. I really have no idea what I'll think of it. But it's got pretty good reviews, so I'm going to give it a start. I'm really wanting cozy, wintry books. Not just fantasies, but just cozy, wintry books. And this is the next one on my list. I'll check in when I've gotten through it a fair bit. So I'm still reading Spinning Silver. I'm only on chapter 4. I like it okay so far. It's told from two perspectives, from a moneylender's daughter and then a farm girl who works for her. It's kind of going back and forth, even within the same chapter. So it's a little confusing at first, but I got it now. Ralphie's on my lap. Yeah, it's nice. I like the voice of the moneylender's daughter. I'm getting used to the other voice, Wanda, the farmer's daughter. So far, it's okay. Yeah, it's not that engaging. Like, I've read 2 chapters this morning and I'm ready to put it down. But we'll see how it goes. Yeah, Spinning Silver by Naomi Novik. Yeah. You know, pardon my voice, I've been sick. I've been thinking about my third book, my third book, Drawing is for Everyone. And there was a project in here that I loved so much. I'm going to find it. This is such a good book. I love my books. Can I say that? Because I do. It's just what I love, you know? I think it's a wonderful book. Nope. Oh, so nice. Where is it? This is it. Okay, so I loved this project. I called it Magical Forest. And there were a lot of different elements to this project. Mostly it is done in, it's all done in colored pencil. And I just felt like doing something like this today. So I'm just going to work on it a little bit. I'm probably going to time lapse it. Otherwise this video will be hours. And I probably won't show the whole thing, but I'll show the end of it eventually. But yeah, I've got some colored pencils, a little postcard, and I think I'll make a postcard to send to somebody. Why don't you sit and join me if you have my book? You could do one too. Yeah, that was fun. I mean, I would like to spend more time and do it again, but I had a few minutes and I just remembered it and wanted to play for a minute. Oh, it's going to be really hard to see on camera, but there's so many little shimmering colors happening. There's something really special when you do the lines and you overlap them. Yeah, it was a beautiful project. And it's high time I try it again, right? Maybe you'll try it too. Yeah, there's the finished one. And I put some really light colors on top, and it was very detailed. I did a few of these. I love this rainbow in the background. Super fun. And these are some of my students. This is John Peterson's. Love that. This is Liz Bosa. Gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Lisa Hoffman. Debbie Brandecker. Wendy Ching. And Helene Jorgensen. Really wonderful. Yeah. Oh, this was a good one too. All right, everybody. Yeah. Time to make dinner. Good morning. Kitty cat. So I'm liking this book more. Spinning Silver. It's very atmospheric, and it's really told through 3 voices. I like them all more and more, and I'm enjoying it. Let's see, page 139, so like a third of the way through. And I just want to read you a little passage that she kind of shows the atmosphere. So this is a girl who is about, I'm not going to say because I don't want to give it away. But anyways, I went to the tall mirror that hung upon the wall and looked at myself there, standing in the whirling snow of the dark forest. I stepped up to the glass, a bitter cold radiating against my face. I shut my eyes and took a step, terrified of every outcome, to meet only hard glass against the end of my nose, and no escape, or to go through and find myself alone in the night in another world where I might never be able to get back. But no glass met my face, only winter biting at my cheeks. I opened my eyes again. I was alone in a forest of dark pine trees, covered with snow surrounding me endlessly in every direction. The sky was a dark gray overhead, a late evening twilight without any gleam of stars, and it was so bitterly cold I had to hold my muff against my lips to keep my breath from freezing my face. Thin flakes of snow drifted around me, pricking my skin like tiny needles. It wasn't merely a cold winter night, or even a blizzard. It was a gnawing, unnatural cold that tried to creep directly to my heart and lungs, that asked what I was doing there. It's really nice. If you like atmospheric books that are sort of steeped in fairy tale in wintertime, I really recommend this. Good morning. I'm still feeling like crap, and I have to go to work today, so I'm not happy about that. But I mean, I'm happy about I missed my work, but I have a very heavy moisturizing mask on because my nose and my chin and my lips are so chapped from blowing. I've got my hair back in this thing, so welcome to my morning. But I'm getting ready to do my journal practice, and we're having a big snowstorm, and I wanted to bring you here with me. So here we go. So welcome to my desk this morning. I just made my second cup of coffee. I've already been in my chair. I did some reading and some knitting while listening to a podcast, and I wake up at 4 o'clock because it gives me time. It's when I have time for myself, you know, in peace, and I don't know, it's really important to me. So I've got my notebooks here. I've got a little bit of news on that. We're having a snowstorm. We've had, gosh, a lot of snow overnight, and I don't know if you can see it, but it's really blowing. It's beautiful. I love it. It's like my favorite thing in the whole world. I know I was a polar bear in a former life. Yeah. It's the most magical time for me, winter. I love it. And I love that I live in a really snowy place. I know that's not for everyone, but it's for me. So I'm going to turn my camera around. I'm cooking my breakfast, so I'm going to go check on that first. And then I'm going to do my journaling with you. You know, it's 5:30. Sorry about that little ring light thing. It's on the lowest setting, but it's so dark. If I don't have it on a little bit, you won't be able to see. So, yeah, it's just dark. So I always light a candle when I sit at my desk. Oh, I need more matches. I always light a candle. And they're just sort of revolving candles here, whatever seasonally fits my mood. But I really love having the fire. And I think it's just super important to strike a match sometimes, just to light that spark. It's sort of metaphorical for me, you know. It's like the creative spark being lit right here at my desk, and I love that. So I did a little bit of writing last night and just kind of left this in a mess. So I'm going to take it out. But yesterday I was really missing my traveler's notebook, and I haven't used it in a while because I've just sort of switched over to this one book system, and it's been working really well. There's nothing wrong with it. The only thing extra I have is my wool gathering book, which is like a commonplace book, and it's just for things that are from some other people that I'm reading, and I want to save quotes and things like that. And I leave, you know, my own thoughts in the margins, but it's super helpful for me to have a place like this, right? And when these are the MD Light books, they're really thin, and so when it's full, I'll just make a new one and archive this one. But it's just so nice. It just sticks in the back here. It doesn't take up any room. I wanted to talk about this too because some people asked about it. This is a notebook cover from Atelier Penelope, which is sold by Bob Huchen in Los Angeles. And I have decorated it myself with patches, and I made this little braided thing with brass charms out of a piece of braided string. It's cloth, which I love. I love that. And it's got a zipper pouch. I put this little brass charm on it. I've got all my favorite pens and stuff and my clip to keep my book open in here. And what I usually do in the morning is I usually take it all out and put it on my desk. I like to have everything I need for a notebook with the notebook. And I change these out every now and then, but pretty much they stay the same. So that's that. And then, let me just see how dark this is. It just feels like it's so dark. Yeah. Oh, you know what? It's the candle. here. You don't need the candle. Now you can see, basically you can see. I wonder what would happen if I turned the light up a little bit. Hold on, not too much. See, this is how unprofessional I am. That helps, right? Okay. It's not very pretty lighting, but it is what it is when it's 5 in the morning. So I like to have everything with it, you know, that I can just pick it up, put it in here, and go. And that's just how I am. So everything is in there, and the one thing I change around every day or so is my fountain pen, and I'll show you those another time, but right now I've got my Pilot Vanishing Point with a medium nib, and I keep the same ink in here all the time, and it's Pilot Iroshizuku Fuyu Syogan. It's like a gray, it's a cool gray, and it's never had any other ink in it for almost 3 years. So, okay, so that's that. And then over here, it's really nice. I put this pocket in, I sewed the edges on a piece of linen, and then I used seamstress removable tape to tape it down so I can remove it later if I want to. And I put this little brass charm of Sakura Blossom here. And I keep a pencil board here if I need to use it as a ruler, and I keep a BK dashboard here, which I actually haven't filled out this week. I don't know why. I usually fill this out. It's just like an extra place for random notes. And then over here, I keep my folder of stickers, and it's just a little paper folder that I stuff with stickers of the moment, and I keep it right here. So then when I leave the house, it's all with me, and I love that. Love, love, love. Or I can take it to the couch or to the bedroom, wherever, but it's all with me. And then obviously my notebook sits right here, and it just works so well, right? It's got a little snap. I already made a video about this notebook, but it's what I'm using right now. I need to use it up. I won't buy it again. I miss my other paper so much. The paper in this, by the way, is wonderful. It is amazing, but it's just not my favorite. My favorite is a thinner paper that crinkles. You know, it crinkles when I turn the pages, like Tomoe River paper or Stology paper. I love, right? MD paper. Those papers crinkle after you write on them or paint on them, and then you turn the pages. They're also very thin, so you can kind of see through the pages a little bit. And I know that really bothers some people, but I really love it. So it's just, you know, it ends up being what works for you. But this notebook is amazing. This is the Leuchtturm 1917, made for bullet journal. It is amazing, and it's beautiful. I love the way it looks. But I named her Starling. I think I talked about that. I named my notebooks, and this one is Starling. It reminds me of a starling with its winter coat, you know, with its winter feathers, plumage. So I love the index. I love having that, but I can do that. I do that in my notebook. But I miss my other paper. It has nothing to do with whether or not this is a good notebook or not. It's just not for me, right? So this was yesterday. I was homesick, so I didn't have a whole lot going on. It's pretty empty daily log. But I did write a little bit, mostly last night after dinner. And I wrote about my traveler's notebook, believe it or not, because I miss it so much. And I actually got a head start on today because today's a work day. I don't know. I didn't know how it was going to be this morning. So I got a head start. And what I do every day is I have this Jelly Roll pen. I buy them by the dozen. It's gold with black in it, so it looks kind of like this antique bronze. I don't know. It's gorgeous. I love it. It does bleed through my MD paper and Tomoe River paper, but who cares? I just put stickers over it on the opposite page. I love it that much. It's been a part of my journals for 3 or 4 years now, and I hope they never stop making it. I've got, I think, 6 in reserve right now. I love it. So I start by writing the date, the day, and then I use a pencil to write the date. And then usually I put some sticker or washi, just something that feels good for me for that day. I love doing that. It has become more of my creative way of decorating my journals. It's very minimalist to me, from what I used to do, just paint and draw everywhere. But I just, if I feel like painting or drawing in here, I do, right? But, and I have another journal, and this has nothing to do with my notebook system, but this is an MD daily diary. I just started a new one, because it starts in December. And I am using this year, I do something different every year, but this year I decided I want to use a magic pencil and fill in the calendar day as they go, and it'll just be this lovely grid. And if I change my mind on how to do this, I will later. But it has these pages, so I thought I'd fill them. And the beautiful thing about magic pencil is that every time you use it, it does something different. These are, my friend Michelle sent these to me. They're called Niji Iro, and they're made in Japan. I think they're $1.50 for a set of 2. And they have the whole spectrum of the rainbow in here, every color. And I love them, love them. And so I decided that every day I would draw something and write a few words about my day with my magic pencil. And yesterday I was feeling really crappy, so I made a caricature of my face. And that looks just like me, it really does. Yeah, it's just the best tool ever. So today I'll do this when I get home from work. And then if I miss a day, it's not a big deal, because you know what? There's no dates on here. I don't like planners with dates on them, because if I skip a day, I hate it. I hate having that blank day. That's just a personal thing. But I like day-free, like undated calendar. So you'll see that in my stuff. It's one of the reasons why, I mean, the Hobonichi weeks really worked for me for many years, but I'm just kind of tired of it. I really like the freedom of the day free and making my own. So anyways, that's what I mean by I'm drawing and painting and things in my sketchbook and in that, but I don't do it as much in my notebook. And that's okay, right? We don't have to. We can, and if I feel like it, I do it. So have I done it in here? I'm not sure. I did a little scribble there. Have I done any drawing in here? I'm not sure. I do put photographs. I do that a lot. No, I really haven't done any drawing in here. And that's okay. I used to. And I used to feel bad if I didn't anymore. I like washi tape. I like stickers. And I like rubber stamps. And so this is my way of using them. It's fun. I can't, what can I say? I'm 10 years old. Oh my gosh, you guys, the snow is so gorgeous. I can't even tell you how beautiful it is. Wow, beautiful. Okay, so I started on this. And then once I do that, what I usually do is I pull an oracle card or a tarot card. I use them for self-reflection and to give myself an intention for the day. So for instance, I'm not going to do it today because it takes me a while to think about it. I mean, I do it every day, but I don't. Okay, so like this day, I drew the death card, and I was really sick that day. And the death card does not mean death, it has nothing to do with that. It means renewal, basically. It means letting go of what doesn't serve you and beginning again. And so I said, today I release what no longer serves me, trusting that letting go creates space for new growth and beauty. So that I just write an intention for myself for that day based on the card I pull. Do I always pull a card? No. Do I usually? Yes. This one was, I don't know what card that was. See, sometimes I forget to write what card it was, so that doesn't help. I didn't do one. I don't really feel like an intention today. Yeah, this is very typical, right? I see, I didn't write it there either. Wow. Oh, here. Oh. All right, let me go back. Wow, you guys, I'm not writing the names. Oh, here. This was the moon. Today, I trust my intuition to guide me through uncertainty. I embrace the unknown with curiosity and allow myself to see the beauty in mystery and reflection. And then I wrote the moon. So that's how I usually start my day, but I'm not going to do that today. And then I start writing my tasks. And I use the bullet journal system because it works for me. So I just have a dot for tasks and a circle for scheduled events. And so scheduled event today is work from 9 to 3. I'm sorry, 9 to 5:30 at the framing. I'm a framer. And then I need to write birthday cards tonight for December. So I'm going to write that down. I know I need to do that. And honestly, on days like this, where I work from 9 to 5:30 at the shop, I don't give myself a lot of tasks because I don't really have time. But then I always go back to the day before. And so I have to make a painting for Evan Healy, the skincare company. And I didn't do that yesterday because I've just felt so sick. And it's actually based on a sense of smell, and I can't smell anything. So I'm just postponing it a little bit. So I bring that over here, and I just keep bringing it here until I do it. And I won't be able to do it today. So I know that I'll be moving it. And in bullet journaling, they call it migrating. But I just move it. I'll put an arrow because I know I'm not going to be able to do it today. And that's it. I really don't have anything else or time for anything else. But if there were things on my, sometimes I also look back to December tasks, right? And I haven't done any. I've done one. That's it. But I haven't done any of them, but I'll look and see if there's anything on that list that I could do for the day. And then when I'm setting up my week, I look at my master calendar, which is here. And these are all the scheduled appointments, all right? Now, this is what doesn't work for me. It works for me as far as me filling up my weeklies, but it doesn't work for me as far as seeing a calendar. I need to see a calendar, and I am not going to take the time to draw one. I know people do that. I'm not going to do it. This is actually super simple because it comes with cut out numbers like this, and I can just put them down, or I can easily write 1 through 31, right? But I'm not going to take the time to draw a calendar. There's just no way. So from that point, I leave this as a running list. Sometimes the day is pretty empty, as you can see. You know, I get things done or I migrate them, whatever. But that's that page. I leave it for my daily log and for like a rapid log situation, or if I want to jot down little notes or something throughout the day. Since I'm at work, I won't be able to, I can't have this at work. It doesn't work to have it at work. So over here is where I start my journaling. And I might write this much, or I might write 5 pages. You just never know. That's why I love the open-ended system of a book like this, where I can keep an index, right? In the back of the book, I have things that I'll be doing on New Year's Eve. I like to fill out these things on New Year's Eve. This I've already started because I'm planning for our holiday gathering that we're having here. But these are things that are like, they call collections in bullet journaling. I just call them, you know, these are task planners, basically, project planners, things like that. I keep track of books that I read and what I think of them. And then those things I put in my index, right? They're in here. So if I need to find them, my financial plan is on 175, so I go back there, right? The reason I like this is it keeps my journaling days, my days and weeks and months separate and flowing. And then when I think of something else I want to plan or track, I just come to the next available page, which is here. So, and I think about how many pages I think I might need, and I start there. I write the title, whatever planning, and then I write the page numbers in my index. So good. So good. This is really working for me. This is my second book that I've been doing like this, and I love it. Since it's the beginning of the year, kind of, when I started this, I knew I wasn't going to start another book before January 1st. I'm leaving some of these things until New Year's Eve because I do a lot of that on New Year's Eve, like my financial plan for next year, things like that. So that's my book. And so normally, like right now, I would just start journaling. I'm not going to do that while we're here because I want to talk about my traveler's notebook. All right. I'm going to put this away for now and I'll journal. I may or may not have time. I don't know. But, and then again, I like to keep everything together, right? So I just stick it all in here. Okay. This is my greatest love. I've had this for, I want to say since 2005. You can tell, I mean, it's really worn in and beautiful. It's been all around the world with me. Well, as far as I've gone, all around the world. It's been through a lot with me. And I put it away because I was so enamored with just having one book, and it's working so well for me that I shouldn't even mess with it. But you know, when your heart misses something, your heart misses something. And I'm really missing this daily connection with this book. And so I thought and thought and thought about it. And I thought, who cares if I double up on some things for a while until I see which one feels better for dates. I'm going to show you kind of what I have in mind. But I also want to show you this. This is also by Atelier Penelope and Baumkuchen. It's for Traveler's Notebook. It's like this, but for Traveler's Notebook. And it's cotton canvas. It has a zipper for all my tools here, right? These are my tools for this. And it's got a pouch that I can slip this into. And it's got another zipper back here to stick ephemera in or whatever I need. I love this. It is a thing that I have to have everything with my notebook. It is. When I had a Hobonichi Weeks, I had a thing for that, right? So it doesn't matter what I'm using, I have a thing that carries all my supplies that I need. All right, so to start, I have 3 charms on here. One is polar bear, which is my spirit animal. I can say that. I know people have told me I shouldn't say that, but I say it. My ancestry comes from a shamanic culture in the north of Slavic countries, and this was a real thing to have. I don't know what the Slavic or even the Proto-Celtic, my other side is Proto-Celtic, so I don't even know what the words were for that. Not spirit animal, that's a, whatever, but I know that it's part of my ancestry because it's really important to me. I feel it. So that's my polar bear. This says, all those who wander are lost. I love this. It's Baumkuchen. I love Baumkuchen. You'll get to know that I love everything they do. But this is my little charm from them. And then this one is a Wabi Sabi charm, which is the same thing. This says Wabi Sabi, which is a huge guiding philosophy that's sort of hard to explain in my life. Inside, I've got a patch. And then I just tuck things in. I don't really use the rubber bands except for this brown folder. I just hate I hate writing in here, and I hate taking them in and out, so I don't put them in. This is just their home, right? I keep this paper folder, which has all sorts of stickers and stuff in it that I love to use. And then in the back, I've got this notebook, which I'm really not using right now. I just have it in here because I bought it and I love it. And I have no idea what I'm going to use it for. This is not all those who wander are lost. I said it wrong, sorry. It's from The Hobbit, basically. Lord of the Rings, but maybe said in a different way. But this has many kinds of paper in it. It has maps in it. It's just the most delightful little book. But again, I'm not sure what I want to use it for yet, so it's just in here. And I know that eventually it'll find its purpose. So these are my 2 books that I keep in here. I have these. I started them in the early summer. And I abandoned them when I went to the one book system. These are called Jius. Jiu means freedom in Japanese. And I put some stickers on them. There's 2 kinds. I have this red ribbon on here, so I know just quickly which one is which. This is the weekly. And the weekly book, I put a little sticker there. The date that I first started it, but that has nothing to do with now. And then I just clipped those pages together. It is a beautiful weekly spread, right? It's very open-ended. There are no dates, so I write the month here, and the day of the week is printed, so I just write the date and what month it is, and then I can track my schedule and any random thoughts that I have. So this was yesterday. That's when I started it. And then next week I'll do the same. What am I going to put in here? I'm going to put my schedule again from here into here, all right? And, or maybe it's going from here to here. I don't know yet. We'll see how it flows. So my schedule will be down twice in case I need it, but this is a little bit more free-flowing and might include other things like, right, just little thoughts. So it's got lots of pages, and in it goes all the way to the back. That's it. It's just a weekly log, all right? And then this is the monthly, and I have a couple of ideas for this, but I think I'm just going to stick to what I have for now. So in the front here, I saw this from Wakako of Baumkuchen. She talked about writing about her authentic values in the beginning of this, and I'm going to do that, and steps I can take to make sure I'm living them, right? This is probably terrible lighting, but that's okay. I'm explaining. Sorry, I coughed. So this section in the page before, I can keep track of my bills to pay. It's a 12-month sort of vertical calendar, which is perfect. I'm not going to show you where my bills are. And then it comes into the monthly pages. Right now we're in December, so I didn't even decorate it really. I just put a little piece of washi tape and wrote down all of the appointments that I know I have. And whenever I get an appointment, this is where it will go. It's going to go right into here, right? Because there's no place to put it in here. There's no calendar, right? So this is something I just find that I need. I can write it in that timeline, the vertical list that you saw, but there's something about my brain that needs a calendar. And then it just goes all the way through. And so when I have things in the future, which I can put them in. I don't have too many. I need to go through my weeks and put in my, from earlier in the year and put them in here. In the back, there's a bunch of blank pages. So I can use this for random notes, project planning, for classes, for things like that, which I tended to do in my weeks also. So I need to go through this, and this is my weeks. See, everything's in its place. In the back here, I use this to plan projects, right? So it works pretty well to do that. And I can do the same in here, right? But this is so much simpler. And again, there's no dates. I make the dates, right? So if I decide to use something else for a month, I can skip that month. I pre-planned this because I know I'm going to use it. It's just so convenient for me. See, like here, I've got a date in the future, right? And I need to go through my old one and make sure I have all my future dates in here. So that's what I'm thinking. Everything goes in here first. And then I think I fill out this for the week. And then I think I fill out this for the month and the week and the day. This is more like daily. And I can do my long form thing. So each one, so this will still be kind of a real record of my days, like in a very full and beautiful way. It's also going to be where, this is whatever book I'm using, whatever A5 I'm using, will also be where I house collections, right? These aren't appropriate for that, for me. So I think it's going to work. Does this sound, it probably sounds really complicated. It's not. It's actually not complicated at all. I have had some really convoluted systems over the years, and this is very simple. So all my appointments will go in here first, right? Things that have a date and a time, right? This will be my weekly, like working everything out. This will be the finalized schedule, all my long form journaling and all my project managers, kind of, my task managers in the back. And then, of course, I have my commonplace book in there. So I'm happy. I'm really happy. And this is just going to sit on my desk so I can quickly grab it, right? And this is so easy to take with me to work. I can take this to work. I'm really happy. I think it's going to work. And it's still very simple, and it's still better than having 3 or 4 books like I used to have. So that's it. All right, everyone. Again, I apologize for this terrible lighting, but I really wanted to talk to you this morning. It's so cozy in here, and watching the snow fall and having my coffee. And I'm going to sit and journal for a little bit, and then eat my breakfast, and then take a shower and get ready to go. All right, I will see you again soon. Oh, loving spinning silver, by the way. The more I'm a little over halfway done with it, and it's been good company while I've been sick. It's a really nice magical story. It's not my favorite that I've ever read, like in that genre, but it's really good. I like it. So I'll talk more about that as I finish it. All right. See you soon. It's light now, and Rick's out blowing the driveway again. We got another maybe 8 inches overnight. And I've just been sitting here. I did some writing, and I've been working in this GU Weekly. And one thing that I didn't mention that I think is super cool is that, as I wrote it up here, is that the thing about the GU is that it's undated. So if I want to write or draw or paint over several pages, it's fine. It has the freedom to be spontaneous, and for me to be spontaneous, and it's very flexible. So in other words, this is my weekly spread. That's not going to change, right? I drew my little sparkly tree this morning. But if I'm out today at work and on my lunch break, I feel like writing, I can write here, just like I would in this book, right? And fill up a couple pages and then just pick up on the next spread for next week. You know, it's just so flexible that way. And I really appreciate that more and more. And as I learn that I am just not a dated planner person. So anyways, that's it. And yeah. The other thing, it's got these little grid sections here, which I really like. Over here on the side, and I haven't found a reason to use this yet, but I'm going to. It would be great for habit tracking, in the Alistair method, kind of. It would be great. We'll see. It's just going to evolve, and I'm just going to use it how I need it, and it will, the way will open, right? What is that saying from Rumi? I think I wrote it in here. Did I? No, it's in here. If you start to walk the way appears. And that's basically how I'm going to approach these books. All right, time to go to work. Well, I just finished this book. I am in bed. I'm not feeling great, but I just wanted to tell you about it. You know, in my house, I have a lot of bookshelves, and in the main, like, front room of the house, I have 2 shelves where I put all of the books that I want to read again. Like my favorites that I know I want to read again someday. This book will not go on that shelf. In fact, I'll probably give it away or you know, take it to the little library in the woods or something. I did like it though. I enjoyed it. I have some, I mean, if you like kind of fairy tale, adult fairy tales, that have just been completely spun around and told in a different way. This is like a Rumpelstiltskin tale, but not at all Rumpelstiltskin. It takes place in what it seems like Russia. It's very wintry most of the time. There is a winter king called Astarik. And some of the most beautiful parts about this book are the descriptions of the Starik Road and the Stark land. In fact, I marked a passage here in the beginning. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just putting my phone in my bed. Yeah, I thought this was really beautiful. The Stark Road was still lingering near in the forest, shining. It wasn't like a lamp, but like stars on a cloudy night. If you tried to look right at it, you couldn't see it. If you looked away, it was there, gleaming in the corner of your eye. So the Starik are sort of a magical, it would be like elves, right, or something in the Lord of the Rings. And they only, the roads only appear in the winter. Everything in their world is ice, right? And even their food is all cold. I mean, it's a very icy place. Anyways, there's some beautiful parts about that world. So if you like winter and you like winter fantasy type of books, if you want something that's very wintry, this would be a great read. It's good. There's a lot of characters. There's a lot going on. The one complaint I have is that within a chapter, so you'll see, just stuck my thing in there when it was falling out when I was finishing it. So here's a chapter. It starts out with one character, right? And then you'll see something like this, and it becomes another character. And every single time, it takes a little while to understand who's talking. That could be my brain. Somebody else might pick up on it right away. But honestly, when you write a book, you should be on the reader's team. And I believe you should make things, how do I want to say this? So when I'm reading a novel, I don't want to be removed from the novel, right? I want to be immersed in this world and not even know I'm reading a book. And the best books do that for me. This book did not do that for me. I mean, there were parts of it where I was in it, but I was almost always aware that I was reading a book, mostly because the narrator changes so often. And a couple times, it's a narrator only one time, and you never hear from them again kind of thing, or not very often. It's mostly between like 3 people, but there are other characters that you get their point of view. And so you got this long passage from this character. Here's a new chapter. It'll be a different character. Here's a new character. See what I'm saying? It just, and sometimes it took me a while. And so it would take me out of the book. I'd have to think about it. All right, who is this? You know? And I don't know. It just removes me from the story. That's just how I am. So again, another brain might do a lot better. It was exciting. It got, it's not a love story, which is nice. I wasn't really I'm not against romances. It's just not really what I look for in a book. But at the very end, you could say there was a little bit of an enemies to lovers trope in a couple different instances in here, but they never really panned out, I guess. Except, I don't know, it's interesting. But yeah, it's good, you know, lots and lots of characters, lots of storylines happening that all kind of converge eventually, which is great. I enjoyed it. I liked the magical world of the Starks. I love winter, and I really felt it. And I thought the descriptions were really beautiful of that. Yeah, excuse me, I'm yawning. I need to go to sleep. Anyways, I would say out of 5 stars, you know, a 3, just under a 3 maybe. It takes a lot to be a 5-star book for me. And it wasn't really, I would say 3. It's not, and 3 is a good read. Anything less than a 3, 3 at 2 is disappointing. I finished it and it's disappointing. And a 1 is, usually I don't even finish it, right? So I finished this and I read it in less than a week. So yeah, Naomi Novik, Spinning Silver. She's got other books. Uprooted is very, very good. Yeah, I mean, I'm really glad I read it. I wouldn't read it again. It's not going on the shelf. All right, everybody. I'll see you in the next segment. So it's morning. I talked to you last night about finishing that other book. You know, the one thing that happens when you finish a book is it's like, what's next, right? So I went to the library yesterday. I have Winter Solstice by Rosamund Pilcher on order, and it hasn't come in yet. I know I want to read that book right now, but while I'm waiting, I thought I would read something else. And so I picked up 3 and tried them this morning. I have very particular needs right now. I know this is probably amazing. It's just too heady for me right now. I just couldn't get into it. Too intellectual for me right now. Maybe another time, because I generally love his work, and I've heard nothing but good things about this, and I know it's an amazing story, but just couldn't get into it. So that's why it's so great. You can just read 50 pages and decide. And then this one, which I've heard a lot of good things about, couldn't get into it. Couldn't get into the setting. Couldn't get into the time and place. The technical, like the technical parts of the book about I don't know, all the seafaring stuff. I couldn't get into it, and so this is not going to be for me right now. I understand the premise. I think it's going to be amazing, but it's just, you know, you just know, right? You just know. So that's out. And then this is a book I haven't read in, well, since it came out, and this book was published in 2000. It seems like it was before. Well, that's a long time ago, isn't it? That's 24 years ago, almost 25. So I haven't read it since about then. I remember loving it, and I just started reading it this morning, and I love it again. So this is what I'm going to read while I'm waiting for Winter Solstice. Have you read this book? I would love to hear your thoughts on this book. I remember just completely loving it, and it made me fall in love with this writer, Barbara Kingsolver, whom I follow, and she's a knitter, and I don't know, she's a cool chick. So this is what I'm going to start. I started this morning, and I'm going to dive into this for the next week while I wait for Winter Solstice to come in. All right, I am off to work today. At the gallery doing framing. It should be pretty busy because we're getting close to Christmas, and it usually picks up pretty crazy. It's busy anyways, but I bet it's going to be really busy today. And the nice thing about working on Saturdays is you get off at 4, so it's a little bit of a shorter day, because the full days that I work, I come home really tired. So 4 o'clock's usually when I hit a wall. So I'm thinking that's perfect. So I'll be able to come home and relax a little bit before I make dinner. All right, everybody, that's it. I'll check in again. I hope this isn't weird. It's kind of choppy, but I'm going to try to, when I edit everything, I'm going to try to intersperse things so it's not so choppy. Yeah, but I'm just sort of picking up my video camera when I feel like I have something to share. We'll see. We'll see how it turns out. You'll let me know. All right. See you soon. Hi. Today is December 10th. It's Emily Dickinson's birthday. She was born in 1830. I printed a picture of her to put in my journal today and to write about her a little bit. She is, without a doubt, one of my favorite poetic voices that has lived. I still read her. I find her voice incredibly relevant. I've dreamt about her. I hear her voice when I read her poems. She's very special to me. So I just wanted to mention her today on her birthday. It's also the day that Thomas Merton, who was a Benedictine, well, he was Benedictine? Wow, I used to know these things. He was a monk, an American, and lived near here in a monastery that I used to visit all the time, and then ended up in Kentucky at another monastery near Louisville for the rest of his life, where he had a hermitage and he was a writer there. And he has also been a very influential voice in my life, and I'm not religious at all, but he taught me a lot about faith and doubt, and how, and about being human. And he died on Emily Dickinson's birthday, and I've always thought that was really interesting, because he had just written about her. He really loved her. Yeah, I don't know. It's always fascinated me that they shared that date in that way. Anyways, I'm off to work today at the gallery framing. I am abandoning Prodigal Summer. I started another book, so I'll probably finish it. I'm maybe a third of the way through, but I started another book that I'm reading for a very specific reason, and I'll talk to you about it when I'm done with it. And I'm still waiting for winter solstice. But Prodigal Summer is good. It's, you know, I read it when I was so much younger. I mean, 25 years ago. And it's funny how things strike you differently when you get older, when you've read them when you were younger and you love them. I don't have incredibly strong memories about the plot or the characters or anything, just of that I really enjoyed it. And now I understand why I enjoyed it then. But it's not resonating with me in the same way, the story itself. What is resonating with me is the way she writes about the natural world and how it enters into the story, and all about the moths. And it's just the prose about the natural world is so beautiful. So it's worth it for me to continue reading it, but I'm taking a little break. So I didn't abandon it. That's the wrong word. So I'm taking a little break to read this other book, which I will talk to you about when I'm done with it. It's very short, but it's also, it's remarkable. It's remarkable. It's one of, I'm not going to say any more. I'll tell you more about it when I'm done. It's very short, so I should be done with it tonight or tomorrow. Anyways, I'm off to work, and yeah, I'll see you again soon. Well, it's something. Oh my God, I love this. This is why I live here. Oh my God. This is just from last night. I'm supposed to be doing this for a whole nother day. It's just gorgeous. even though I really doubt the mailman's coming, I'm gonna make a path, but wow. Oh God, I love winter. Ah. It's over my knees. It's so beautiful. Wow. Ah, winter. Finally. Morning. It's early. It's very snowy outside. I just wanted to pop in and talk to you about a few books. So I just wanted to say hello. I don't want all of my videos to be my hands on my desk, so I'm trying to pop in and say hello with my face and my eyes too. But I wanted to talk to you about a few books this morning. Yeah, so I'm going to turn it around now and show you. It's very cozy right now. It's early. The snow has stopped. And I'm just sitting here in my chair. I've had a cup of coffee and I did my meditation or before that, and I've been reading, and I listened to an interview. I've been up for, I don't know, about an hour and a half now. I just wanted to show you a few books. Well, these I'll talk about. These are books that I look at a lot. I'll just pick them up. I leave them here. This is this is where I read right now. Things I'm reading. And I keep it there next to my knitting. And this one is by Rilke. It's the Book of Hours. I have a few books by Rilke, but this one I've had for maybe 6 or 7 years now, I guess. And I just honestly flip it open and read. So I like this book because it has the German on the left and English, the translation on the right. And this is translated by Anita Barrows and Joanna Macy. I love Joanna Macy. So anyways, I'll just read what I opened to. Your first word of all was light, and time began. Then for long you were silent. Your second word was man, and fear began, which grips us still. Are you about to speak again? I don't want your third word. Sometimes I pray, please don't talk. Let all you're doing be by gesture only. Go on writing in faces and stone what your silence means. Be our refuge from the wrath that drove us out of paradise. Be our shepherd, but never call us. We can't bear to know what's ahead. I like this simplicity of the translation. It's obviously a translation, but I do read some German, so I try to look at it in both and understand it from there. But I don't try, when I read these things, I don't necessarily try to decipher it or understand it. I'm just with it. You know what I mean? I just be with it and just sort of read it and let it soak in. I usually read it through twice. So I'm not trying to get like this deep understanding of something. I'm just trying to take it in. I hope that makes sense. I've been doing it a long time. So anyways, it's Rilke's Book of Hours. I like this one. And the other one I have is this one. And I spilled paint on it, so I made it prettier. It seems kind of blurry. Maybe it's just my eyes. So this is A Year with Rumi. It's just daily readings, and it's a really nice little book. I've had this a very long time. This is the translation by Coleman Barks, which is also really wonderful. And it's the same thing. I just open it, and I've done it where I've read it through on the day, and what happens inevitably is I miss a few days, and so I just open it randomly and read, and it's usually just what I need. So I'll read. This was September 1st, we three. My love wanders the rooms, melodious, flute notes, plucked wires, full of a wine the Magi drank on the way to Bethlehem. We are three. The moon comes from its quiet corner, puts a pitcher of water down in the center, the circle of surface flames. One of us kneels to kiss the threshold dust. One drinks with wine flames playing over his face. One watches the gathering and says to any cold onlookers, "This dance is the joy of existence." The moon comes from its quiet corner, puts a pitcher of water down in the center. You know, it's interesting. When I woke up at like 2:30, I guess. I have a shoulder issue right now, and it's just sometimes hard to sleep. And I got up and I looked out the window like I often do. And sometimes I can see the moon right from where I'm lying down, but the moon was so bright and big and in the center of all the trees in my woods and beaming off the snow. It was just, wasn't quiet at all. It was really, really bright. What the heck, I'll drop in the photo that I took. My camera doesn't do good nighttime photos, but this was what I saw. And it was so much more magical than this. I mean, a photo could never do it justice, but I don't know, wanted to share it with you. Anyways, Rumi is wonderful. And I learned about this book first, believe it or not, from Mary Oliver. And someone had written an essay about her, someone that she actually lived with toward the end of her life. And I had another copy of this book, and I gave it away, never got it back. So this is a newer one. I got it, I don't know, it was a while ago. I don't know if did I write the date? No, sometimes I write the date. Anyways, Mary Oliver, toward the end of her life, had moved because she was unable to live alone anymore. And the person that she lived with, she had a room in their house. And the woman said it was just very simple. It was a bed and a desk and a notebook and some paper and pencils and stuff. And a little bowl that she kept lines from Rumi that she'd write on pieces of paper, crumple them up and put them in the bowl. And sometimes she would pull one out and read it, and a copy of this book. And I thought, well, if it's enough inspiration for Mary Oliver, it's certainly enough for me, and it has been. So anyways, just 2 books. And you know, I have another one here right now that I'm trying out. It's called The Things You Can See Only When You Slow Down. It's good. It's good. I like it, but it's not these. So I just wanted to share those with you. Now, I finally got winter solstice, so I'm getting ready to start that. But first, I wanted to talk to you about this. It's a very small book. It's by William Maxwell. And William Maxwell was the fiction editor for the New Yorker magazine for 40 years. 40 years. And you can just imagine the writers that he worked with in a 40-year career. He also wrote many books of his own. In fact, in the beginning here, books by William Maxwell, there's many. Many novels, short stories, things like that. So this one, though, won the National Book Award. When was this published? I knew this, like 1980 maybe? 1980. It won the National Book Award when it was published. It is blurbed by Michael Ondaatje on the front and John Updike on the back. I don't want to say too much because it's a small, quiet book that I hope you'll read. I will just say that my heart felt it the whole way through. I thought of so many things. It reminded me of so many things when I would stop reading, and then my thoughts would creep in, because the book is immersive. Like you're in it, you know, you're really in it. The language is so beautiful and simple. It's just an exquisite story and exquisitely written. And, you know, I just don't want to say too much, because I don't want to affect your reading of it at all. But I just want you to read it. I just want you to read it. Yeah, I don't want to say any more than that. But if you read it, you can contact me through my website and let me know what you think. KatiraEwing.com. There's a contact form there, and you can let me know what you think about it. It won't take you long. It's funny, you know, I thought I would read this in just a day or two, but it took me a few days, even though it's so short, because it's not a book that you rush through. You know, it's not hard to read, but I just found myself reading every word slowly. And don't we need more of that in our life, right? So yeah, William Maxwell, So Long, See You Tomorrow. I highly recommend it. Like, one of the best books I've ever read, ever. And now it's time for Rosamund Pilcher, and I'm so excited. So I'm going to start that right now and just dive in. I've read it. I think I've read it 3 times. So, you know, it's just a cozy, wonderful, big story about people doing their best. And, yeah, I'll be drinking more tea when I read the story, that's for sure. Her books always make me crave tea. All right, everyone, that's it for this morning. I have a PT at 8 o'clock, so I've got to go get myself dressed pretty soon and get my day started. I've got several clients today and a video to film for my Patreon. So it will be a good day. All right, see you again soon. Bye. Good morning. Oh, I started to do my book this morning, and then I thought I'll bring you with me, because earlier I was editing. You know, I love these matches, but they're so pretty, but they're not easy to strike. The wood's really, hold on one second, my music just went to a, I have to do that again. Anyways, I can't think right now. Whatever. I don't remember. I honestly don't remember. Oh, I know. I was editing this video this morning, all the footage I have so far, and it's really long. So you don't have to watch it all. You can fast forward. Or you can watch it in chunks if you want to watch it all. But I noticed that the one part where I talked about my notebooks is really hard to see, and it's because it was like 5 in the morning, and that's when I had time, and that's when I wanted to talk to you. But I like the stuff that I said, so I thought I would do 2 things. I would show you those things again in the daylight, and the other part is that I was going to show you my tools. So, because they don't change that often, but they do change a little bit. And I'm trying to think what I did with my other one. Oh, here they are. Okay. So, here are a few things. I know I talked about this. This is my traveler's notebook, and then this is the the pouch that I put it in. And I did this for a few days where I did the weekly and the monthly in my beloved book. And you know what? I just gotta say, it just needs to be simpler right now. As much as I need to see this every day, I just have it next to me. If I need to see it, I can see it. But I need the simplicity of one book. I really need that. So this is sitting next to me in my basket on my desk. And who knows? I might pick it up again, whatever, but it's there. If I'm going away for a couple days, I take this with me. I wouldn't take this necessarily. I might, but who knows? So anyways, I am still using the monthly because, as I talked about before, I need this monthly calendar. I super, super need it. So this is December, and these are all my timed appointments, like things that have a, time or whatever. I still have not taken my old weeks and filled out the rest of this, but I will. I might do that this afternoon, actually. So this is the GU. It's really lovely. And it's designed by Baumkuchen, produced by Travelers Company. It's this beautiful Tomoe River paper. It's kind of a creamy color. It's not the white, which I really love. And I wish they would make a bigger notebook, like A5 size, with this paper. If anybody knows of one with Tomoe River paper with dot grid or a grid with the cream paper and an A5, let me know. Okay. So anyways, I just wanted to show you this one more time in daylight so you could actually see it really well. So when I open it up in the morning, it kind of looks like this. I've already been into it, so and all my tools are in here, including this and this. So it's like this, right? It's really beautiful. It's just canvas. It's nice. And I've just added some things to it. So I just take my book out. Unless I'm using my commonplace book, it just stays in there, but I put my GU monthly in there too. So I take that out, I leave the commonplace. I've got this. I don't really need this unless I'm setting up a week. And then I've got my stickers. And I just sort of set this to my side and I open it up and kind of grab, everything out so I can see it. And again, this is my folder full of stickers. This is my dashboard from Baumkuchen, and I use this for extra things. And it just sort of sticks in my book during the day. And sometimes I didn't this week, but sometimes I even write little grocery lists and things. And I take this with me to the store. It's just easier than taking a whole book, but it has my schedule in here, which is great. Probably unnecessary, but I just like it. So again, I really don't use this book unless I'm making a calendar or writing a date down. So it just kind of sits to the side. And this is my book. And I've already talked about this in another video, so I don't need to go through this too much. But this was yesterday. So when I'm starting today, I put a little a page from my favorite comic in there. And I grabbed my ballpoint pen, and I actually blessedly have nothing today. It's very rare. So, and I kept it that way on purpose because I knew it was going to be crazy this coming week. So I look at anything that I haven't done and I start writing those down. So I know I need to do laundry. I've already started that. I need to go to the dollar store and get candles. I was going to do that yesterday and never had time. And this is bullet journal style, right? Really simple. That's done, that's done, that's done. I want to change my linens. I never got to that yesterday. Bed linens. And that's it. Those are the only things I didn't get done yesterday. So those will be my tasks today. And then I really can't think of anything else that I need to do today that needs to be on a list. It's just, I'm going to read, knit, clean a little bit, things like that. I'll just turn some music on now that it's... Do any of you use the cozy backgrounds on YouTube? Like and they just play like mellow music, like house music. It's nice. I keep those on sometimes. I'm gonna turn it down because you never know if they're gonna grab you for copyright on here for background music. It's crazy, but they do that sometimes. Okay, so that's it. And then over here, I would start my journaling, right? And I'm not gonna go into that today, but that's it. I wanted you to see it in the daylight, and you've already seen this book. Now, what I want to show you are these things. And honestly, since I'm going to be making a new dashboard tomorrow, I'll just use the dashboard. So these are the things that live with my A5 book, my main book and my calendar and all of that. There's one thing that I didn't put in here, and it's this pen. I think it's this one. Yeah. Okay. I have two of them actually that I was using yesterday. This is the other one. All right. So I've got two highlighters in here, and I don't use them very often, but every now and then I really like to have a highlighter. And this is just a really light gray. I don't like bold highlighters. I like them really light. And this is it's a really pale pink. It's called Beach Sand, I think. Bright Sand. It's by Kokuyo. But you can see they're very, very pale. And this one is just a Lyra Aqua. I've had this forever. I mean, I've had it for years. Warm gray light. So very, very pale, right? Just in case I want to use them to decorate or to highlight something. Doesn't happen very often. I have two ballpoint pens. I have more in here, and I'm going to talk about those in a little bit, but I love ballpoint pens. However, in this new book, I'm not a fan. I haven't been using them except for my lists. They don't do the special things that they do on my other papers, right? On my Tomoe River paper, like when you turn the pages, the ink is kind of sticky on them, and it crinkles, and it has a texture like, it feels like braille on the page. It indents the paper. It has a beautiful sheen to it because it's oil-based. This is real ballpoint, not hybrid. I just love it. But so when I go back to my normal books, I'll be using these a lot more. So these are the two I probably use the most. This is a Pilot. No, sorry, Parker. It's a Parker IM. It came with a blue ink, which I don't use that often, but I put in here a Fisher Space pen refill in silver ink. Yes, you've heard that right. It's silver ballpoint ink. It has a little bit of a sheen to it. And I use this with my ruler to make lines in my notebook. It looks like graphite. It looks like pencil, right? It's very pretty. It has a nice sheen to it. So that's my Parker IM. This is a Parker Urban, and this has a Parker Black refill. Why do I love it? All those reasons I talked about before. This is a Parker Urban, which is a regular Parker Quink Black ballpoint. This is a traditional ballpoint pen, so it can go very, 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 very light and very, 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 very dark. So I can draw with this if I want to, just like using a pencil. I love that. The other thing that I love is that ballpoint pen, immediately, once you put it down, you can use a highlight over it and it doesn't smudge, all right? Not true with gel pens. If you put a gel pen down and you put a highlight over it, it smudges. So, and also the same with the, this one, the Fisher Space pen. I have a few other ballpoint pens that I love. This one, I really love the pen. It's from Take a Note. It was just like a little freebie they gave out. But it's a hybrid ink. And so what that means is it smudges. If I go over it, it's going to smudge. You know, it takes, once you let it dry, it's better. But it's definitely a gel hybrid. So even if I write really quickly, it'd go like this, it smudges. Okay? So I don't use it that much, but I do like it. This is a Mont Blanc ballpoint pen with a Parker refill. No, sorry, it's a Mont Blanc refill. It's my favorite refill. It has the most beautiful sheen of all. It almost has like a red sheen to it. This was a gift to me from my friend John. And I treasure this pen. It's really, really beautiful. The ink is gorgeous. And I actually do use this a lot for long form journaling. So it's got that beautiful mountain peak, snowy mountain peak on the top. It's a treasure. It's an old pen. It's a vintage pen. So, and it's just got the regular Mont Blanc refill, which is my favorite, again, of all ballpoint refills. It's just, there's something really beautiful about it. It doesn't smudge. It has beautiful sticky texture that I love. When I say sticky, I don't mean it's actually sticky. It just has a special feel to it. So really, really beautiful. This is another gift from my friend John. This is a Pilot Ageless ballpoint. It has this twist mechanism. It's very, very comfortable to write with. And this has the Parker Quink refill, which is also very nice. It's a little bit, I think I have this in a medium, a 007. So this is really nice for long sessions of writing. And then I've got this little cheapy one. I don't know where it's from, but it has great ink in it. The cheaper the pen, see how they're all a little bit different color too? But the cheaper the pen, the better it is for drawing. This is a great pen for drawing. You can go so whisper light with it, just by the amount of pressure you put on the paper. And then as you put a little bit more pressure, it gets darker, a little bit more, darker still, and you can go super dark. So it's a great pen for drawing and sketching. All right, those are my ballpoints. Okay. This little pencil bag is from, I don't even know what it's called. I just thought it was so cute. I got it at the stationery store. Then I have a mechanical pencil in a 07. This is a Kokuyo. I love these. I love the feeling of these. I actually love the graphite they have in these. And I buy their refills. In fact, I think they're in here. They look like this. This is an HB 0.7. Doesn't break. It's just really great. It's got a little eraser on the end, and it erases really nicely. So I have it in pink, and I also have it in another color I'll show you in here. But see, it's kind of nice, right? It's kind of color coordinated. Like, I like the way these look together, right? It matters to me. I know it's weird, but it matters. Then I have that black gold jelly roll that I told you about that dries like beautiful bronze. And I also have the Starlight one. It's like a crystal clear one I use for sparkles in my journal. And then I have two erasable Pilot Friction pens. These are the Pilot Friction WAAI. This one is sort of a medium gray, and this one is sort of a medium sandy color. I like the way they look with everything else, and they are erasable. So I use these for my calendar because if a date changes, I can erase it and it's not a big deal. So those are really important, and I have many of these. There's some in every single pouch that I have. And then right now I'm using this fountain pen. This is and I'm gonna do a separate video, not in the big monthly vlog thing, about my fountain pens, because I really narrowed them down and I don't ink them all anymore. But I wanna do a separate video about that. But this is my Pilot Vanishing Point. It's probably my favorite fountain pen for long form writing. I've never put any other ink in it than this one. This is Pilot Iroshizuku Fuyu Syogan. I think it's called Old Man Winter. It's a beautiful blue-gray with lovely shading. And what I love about this ink is that once it's dry, you can actually use a highlighter on it and it doesn't smudge, which is amazing. So it's got to be completely dry, but there are very few fountain pen inks that you can use a highlighter on and it doesn't smudge it. And this is one of them. And plus it's my favorite color, gray. So that's it. Those are my tools that I use for my A5. Now, these, I also have this, which I clip to the side of my book to hold it open. It's a little brass paper clip. Now, and this one is my other, it's the same thing, but it's in a different color scheme. And I had this in my, I can't think of it, my traveler's notebook pouch. I just took it out recently. So these are my other pens. I'll do this on the back side. I don't know why I have washi tape in there. We don't need that. So I have this little bullet journal ballpoint. It's just a Parker refill. I love this pen. It's just, I just love it. So it's just, it's made by Leuchtturm. It's just black with gold, and it has a Parker style refill in it, black. Do I have any other ballpoints in here? No, I don't. Okay, I have two fountain pens in here that I was using. This is just a Lamy Safari in an extra fine, and it has Lamy Pink Cliff ink. And I use this for long form writing sometimes. I love the triangular grip on this pen. So that's that. And then this is a Pilot Kikuyo. These are both really affordable pens. This one was like $12, I think. This is also in an extra fine. Kakuno, it's called. Kakuno. And this is also the Fuyu Seogun ink. The one I was just talking about that you can use a highlighter over. So once it's dry, you can, it's not dry yet, but once it's dry, you can use a highlighter and it's fine. This ink, for instance, the Lamy, no matter how dry it gets, it's going to smudge. All right. But this one, once it's dry, it will not smudge. But this is Tomoe River paper, so sometimes it takes a little while to dry. I have the same Jelly Roll pen in the black gold and in the clear sparkle. I have the same mechanical pencil, just in a different colorway, the Kokuyo. I have the Pilot Friction Y pens. I've got one extra color, like a blue. I think it's called Chili Blue. It's very pretty. It's a soft blue. Those are for my calendar. So sometimes I change them out, right? This is a gel pen, two gel pens in here because I just love these inks. This is a blue-gray. This is a Zebra Sarasa 05 nib size with a blue-gray ink. And this is a Uni Zento pen, but I have a Energel refill in a light gray. So these are gel pens, so they will smudge, you know, not too bad, but they will if they're really, really wet. And I just like them, so I keep them in here. This is a Sailor ink pen in a really pretty sort of wintry blue. It's got a brush pen on one side and a fine tip on the other. I do like to use this when I'm using this colorway. This is a Zig Clean Color Dot in a lovely sort of green blue-gray. I think it's called Grayish Green, number 409. Love this. And I use that. And then this is my highlighter, which is also a Kokuyo. And this color is called, does it say? Even if it says, I couldn't read it because it's light gray on, yeah, I can't read it. Anyways, it's that color. I love it. And then this is just a pen that I love. It's a Uniball Signo 307 Ultra Micro. It's a very fine tip pen, and it's the prettiest blue. And sometimes I just really love to write in blue ink. Every now and then. It's the prettiest blue ink I've ever seen in a gel pen. But again, it will smudge if you accidentally brush it right away. When you first write with it, it will smudge. So I'm just really careful when I write with it. So those are my pens. I just wanted to show those to you. Not my fountain pen collection, but just my everyday pens. Really fun. And when I get tired of the pink ones, I'll put these in instead. And I just kind of rotate them. And they're all together like that. This is fun, right? Okay. So that's it, everybody. This video is getting super long, and so I think I'm just going to wrap it up. And then maybe before the end of the month, I'll make that fountain pen video. And the next month, I'll start again. And they're going to be long. I'm just not. They're just going to be long. What are you going to say? But I hope you've enjoyed it anyways. And I am here to learn, and I know I'll get better at it. So if you have some thoughts, please share them, and I'll keep them all in mind. I'm never going to have a professional editing studio or filming equipment or anything like that. It's always going to be very homemade. But I'm hoping that the right people will find me, and it's what you want to see. So, all right, I'm off to a nice, cozy, relaxing day where I don't really have anything scheduled. It's so rare. So rare. You have no idea. All right, take care.